Trade unions applaud government for honoring the payment of retroactive pensions. We'll have details to this story and more in the National Report.
Prepare for hurricane. Prepare for hurricane. Make sure you have your radio and your batteries too. Waterproof flashlight candles will do. Tin stuff, garbage bag, first aid kit. Come on people, make sure you have it. Clean water in a container and a hurricane plan. Hear me no man.
Hurricane damage is beyond your control. Surviving the aftermath is up to you. Have a hurricane plan. It can save your life and your family too.
Prepare for hurricane. Your hair, prepare for hurricane.
With the details to the news for Monday, November 21st, I am Rikisha St. Louis. Trade union officials applaud government for a promise fulfilled to hundreds of retired public officers. The Deacon Mitchell-led administration on November 15th made good on a campaign promise to pay retired public servants their pensions. Over 300 retirees from various sectors began receiving their first retroactive payouts. This move has caused some members of the Grenada Trades Union movement, who have over the years clamored for pensions for public officers, to applaud the efforts of government. Former President General of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Lydon Lewis, and former President of the Grenada Public Workers Union, Rachel Roberts, were some of the initial pioneers leading the charge. Roberts says it is a very gratifying feeling to know that something you have worked towards has actually materialized. She described it as a painful and difficult journey.
God is a God who knows, and tears is a language that he understands. And many public officers cried. Many public officers cried over this. And I said many of them died over this. But today, we want to thank the government of Grenada, because we know without a supportive government, without a caring government, this was not going to happen easily. It has been paid. And our officers are happy, and I feel happy. The country would be better off for it, because the economic gains, the spill-off from it, the multiplier effect would be one that would support all Grenadians, the grandchildren, the great-grand, the children who would benefit from this.
Former President General of GUT, Lydon Lewis, was one of the instrumental players in the early fight for pension for public workers.
It's a joyous occasion for me. It's like a dream come true. I feel it for those senior citizens who for years had to struggle. Some of them had to go through demeaning job that they would have left, and had to find ways to survive. So it's really a good feeling for me. It's many prayers answered. And I commend the government for taking that bold initiative to pay the gratuity and pension.
Retirees Daniel Lewis, former employee of the Ministry of Agriculture, who spent 30 years in the service, along with Osbert Charles, who gave over 16 years to the Ministry of Health, and Helen Brathwaite, who has given dedicated service as an educator, all spoke to the GIS about the feeling of finally receiving their reward.
I came to the horrible realization a couple of years ago that I would never receive a pension from government. So that is the kind of reality I was living under, you know. And then I remember traveling once to Ottawa in a meeting, and which involved also a vgh'n friend, Michael. And one morning we were walking about 5 a.m. and he was boasting about what you do. He said, Daniel, you know, I plan for my pension, you know, and all kind of things. I said, but you know, in Grenada, I would not be getting a pension. And he find that was so unthinkable. So the honest truth, what has unfolded over the last couple of days has been amazing, believe me, almost a dream. And I really want to credit the government for keeping its commitments. I mean, it's not easy sometimes, you know, during election campaign to make certain commitments, but the reality is when you're very focused and you really, really want to achieve it. And I was really impressed with the way the government went about from the time they get to office. They created the secretariat, put system in place, and work closely with the people at Ministry of Finance. And what we unfolded over the last year has been amazing.
I think men can be called honorable when they're able to honor the words. So the entire cabinet should be thanked immensely for honoring that decision of the willingness expressed to pay the pension, and today it's a reality.
I've been praying, and I know God answers prayers. And when I heard about that, I was so, so happy. I felt like, oh, this is Moses. Moses came to take us to the promised land. So we went to the promised land, and I got my milk and honey.
At the end of the payment process, the Ministry of Finance anticipates a payout of $75 million to 525 eligible retirees. Ocean Explorer and Ovima are the two recent cruise lines to make maiden calls at the St. George's Melville Street Cruise Port, are part of the Grenada Tourism Authority's improved marketing strategy to increase the calls to the island for the season. Nicoyan Roberts, GTA's Manager of Nautical Development, Marketing and Sales, says the two new calls represent new business coming to Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique for the 2022-2023 season. Roberts says this brings the industry one step closer to its pre-COVID-19 ratings.
This shows the growth that we are seeing within the cruise sector of the tourism industry. This is representative of additional revenue and additional opportunities for new passengers, new cruise passengers to come to Grenada, see what we have to offer, experience our tours, and give our taxi operators and our vendors the ability to earn much needed revenue. The 2022-2023 cruise season, we are seeing a scheduled number of calls of over 200. And this represents an 11% increase on the amount of business, the amount of cruise calls we got last season. It is very important for Grenada, therefore, to continue to shine, to continue to provide passengers with exquisite and memorable experiences so that they can guide the demand that the cruise brands will receive as being a clarion call to visit Grenada and Carriacou.
Huggins is the agent handling the affairs of both cruise lines while they are docked at the Melville Street Cruise Port. Divisional Manager for Services at Huggins, Sheldon Alexander, says his company is quite pleased with the role that they are playing in the sustenance of cruise tourism on the island.
These are two very unique ships, totally opposite side of the spectrum. One is the Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection. It's a seven-star vessel, and Ocean Explorer. It's a expedition vessel. We have 269 people on the Ritz-Carlton, and we have 115 people on the Ocean Explorer. The Ocean Explorer, it's a unique vessel. That vessel, as it says, as the word goes, it's an expedition vessel that deals with mainly environmental runs. So from here they're going to go down South America and then on to Antarctica.
Both the Ovima and the Ocean Explorer are home port out of Barbados.
We have 105 people on tour of the Ocean Explorer, which they went to the Laura Spice Garden, they went to the rum distillery, and they had an opportunity to see Grenada on a Sunday. We're very happy and thankful to the persons that are in the industry that came out today to ensure that the visitors enjoy themselves. The Ritz-Carlton vessel, it's a bit different. It's more high-end, and they are on a different type of tour. They're on the catamaran tours. They went to the Silver Sands. So it's a nice injection of into the economy from these two vessels on a Sunday.
Huggins and the GTA are also making preparation to welcome Rhapsody of the Sea's maiden call on Wednesday, November 23rd. Continuing the news, November has been dubbed the month of new business for Grenada's tourism industry, as the island has recorded a significant increase in flights from the international market and the resumption of several services from Canada, the UK, and the United States. Between October 30th to November 21st, tourism and government officials welcomed 4 new airline calls and resumption services. On Sunday, Condor landed at the Maurice Bishop International Airport after 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The airline will fly once per week until April 2023. Nicoyan Roberts, GTA's manager for nautical development, marketing and sales, explains that Condor is a non-stop service that was renegotiated and supported by tour operators and travel agents in Germany. She says Condor's return is the gateway for Grenada to access visitors from wider Europe.
The GTA was able to secure the services of Ice to Market International as our representation company for Germany and Europe. And so today's flight will be bringing in representatives from Ice to Market and a mega fam of 20 travel and tourism professionals. We have 10 people representing the press, including Deutsche Welle, and we have 10 representatives representing tour operator companies, dive shops, etc. in Germany. This week, while they are here, they will get a chance to meet with local suppliers from the hotels and tour operators so that they can cement the business to bring more guests, more German guests into Grenada, and also guests wishing to visit from other European countries and using Frankfurt and London as hubs to come into the country. And we do have the priority opportunity of being sold as non-stop getting into Grenada with an additional connection into the Southern Caribbean using Tobago and Trinidad as an additional vacation and business choice.
Passengers and crew members were greeted by government and tourism officials and the sweet sound of steel pan music. Tourism Minister Honorable Lennox Andrews is proud that Grenada continues to attract international airlines through its marketing strategy.
The resumption of your flight means that we now have 7 international flights coming to Grenada on a weekly basis from Europe and North America, carrying an average of 800 persons weekly. And that in itself means a lot for our tourism industry. We are working on increasing our hotel room space. Next year, by March, is the planned date for the opening of our new hotel, the Six Senses, which will increase the number of rooms by about 120. And therefore, what it means is that we in Grenada are making great strides in helping to build a strong tourism industry, given its importance in terms of foreign exchange earning, employment generation, higher income, and its very close linkage that it has with all sectors of the economy.
Minister for Civil Aviation Honorable Dennis Cornwall announced plans to build a strong tourism industry in the coming years.
We are going to put in place the necessary infrastructure that will allow for ease of business on the airport yet. In other words, your passengers will be able to disembark and embark in a much smoother manner at the end of the day. And we believe that that would help develop our tourism product here in Grenada in a big way. Encourage the Grenada Tourism Authority staff to continue doing the good job they have been doing and to ensure that at the end of the day we'll be able to increase the airlift that is now here in Grenada to a much higher level and to ensure that our tourism business grow bigger and bigger.
This is the National Report. The news will continue after the break.
Have you noticed an increase or decrease in your electricity bill? You know that changes in the fuel and non-fuel rates affect your bill. You should also be aware that changes in household activities affect your bill. Ask yourself these questions. Have the rates changed? Have there been more people at your home? Have your children been on holiday? Have you used your fan or air conditioning unit more often to beat the heat? Are any of your electrical appliances or equipment faulty? Have you added any new appliances such as transformers, water heaters, or pumps? Make it a habit to understand any changes on your electricity bill. For more factors that affect your bill, visit www.grenlec.com. Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs will be placing greater emphasis on the training and development of boys with a view to strengthen family structures, society, and advance the country. That's according to Minister for Social and Community Development, Honorable Philip Telesford, during his address to commemorate International Men's Day over the weekend. He said government ministers will form part of a group that will engage men and boys in a wrap-up session on November 26th at the Spice Basket. The engagement will be held in keeping with this year's theme, Helping Men and Boys.
Over the years, we have noticed that less attention has been placed on the training and development of our boys, thus creating an imbalance in our society. As a ministry, we intend to place a greater focus on our boys and men with a view of strengthening families, society, and nation. We will be at the Spice Basket starting from 6 p.m. It will be an evening of fun, food, and facts on our development. Please make a special effort to attend. We are stronger together.
Finally, in the news, the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force says there will be heightened patrols throughout the island as part of the RGPF's Yuletide operations. This as officers are concerned about the increase in road accidents and road fatality so far this year. Constable Troy Paul of the Traffic Department explained to members of the media on Friday that road accidents for 2022 has exceeded the 2021 statistics by nearly 300, with fatalities at almost 10. He said officers will be deployed and will be equipped to conduct breathalyzer tests and other examinations to ensure drivers are exercising due care and attention.
We at the Traffic Department, we have devised operation for the Yuletide season, and one of those is heightening in patrols, foot patrols, mobile patrols, and also motorcycle patrols in and around the town of St. George's and all our towns in Grenada. With those patrols, you will see speed checks. We'll be at various places checking, ensuring that persons do not exceed the speed limit, and also on accident scenes, persons will be subjected to breathalyzer tests.
Officer in charge of crimes, Superintendent Vanny Kerwin, says the Yuletide operations will activate all security measures for the season to ensure peace and safety. He is concerned that if measures aren't in place to curb the worrying trend of robberies and crimes, it will affect the country's ability to attract foreign investment and revenue.
You will see a greater security presence in our towns and communities as we heighten our awareness and responses to the challenges that we currently face. We may disrupt your desire to traverse the country without delays, but this becomes necessary in order to keep you safe. We have activated all of our security measures and are confident in our ability to keep Grenada and Grenadians safe during this period. Our campaign against loud music in homes and vehicles, a campaign against speeding, campaign against unlawful, dark tint, and unregulated lights and other infringements and additions to motor vehicles, or zero tolerance policies for offensive weapons, including unlawful firearms and ammunition, a campaign against drunk driving, and our zero tolerance in illegal drugs.
That story just ended the national report for Monday, November 21st, recapping the top story. Trade unions applaud government for honoring the payment of retroactive pensions. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us.